Hi there, and my video today is reasons to be optimistic with chronic fatigue syndrome. 6 points here. When you have chronic fatigue syndrome, I know that one of the main symptoms can be depression, and it can be very, very difficult to have an optimistic and positive mindset when you are in that depression. I really do understand that. Hello. But here is what I want to say are reasons for you to be optimistic. And here are my 6 reasons. First of all, it's not fatal. And it's not a life sentence. You have a syndrome. It's a collection of symptoms. It's not a fatal disease. So be thankful that you have something that is not fatal and can be managed. 2, you can and you will recover. People do it all the time. I have done it. Many, many people do it. It is possible to recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. 3, chronic fatigue syndrome is one of those kind of situations, let me put it like that can lead to change. And while you may be thinking at the moment that the changes that are happening are not what you want, in the long run, you may find that the changes that happen in your life due to having chronic fatigue syndrome are ultimately for the better. It's necessary to make changes to recover from chronic fatigue syndrome, and ultimately you will find that those changes will be for the better. 4, you find out who your friends are. Those friends who get annoyed with you or upset with you when you can't make appointments, or that say all you need to do is get out, get some fresh air, or think you're being lazy. Those are not true friends. Your true friends are those who are compassionate, who may, when they find that you have chronic fatigue syndrome, instead of denying your symptoms, they go and look it up and find out about it and then offer to support you. Those are your true friends. And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing to find out who your true friends are. To find those friends through having chronic fatigue syndrome that you know that you will always be able to trust and will always have your back. That's a reason to be optimistic. 5, because your body is forcing you to stop, what happens then is you can start to develop more spiritual or philosophical ways of being, rather than maybe where you've had a life where you're constantly doing, constantly rushing from one activity to the next without stopping for any kind of space or any mindful or spiritual just being. Those sort of constant burning the candle at both ends activities is probably one of the contributing factors of why you may have developed chronic fatigue in the first place. And what having something like CFS does is makes you stop, and you can then begin to explore those things which will enhance your life in the long term. Believe me, developing practice, I'm not talking about religion necessarily, If you are religious, then maybe that will provide a deeper spiritual sense for you. But spirituality can be just developing mindful meditation, being in touch with the real you inside, spiritual you, and all of these things, whatever works for you, will enhance your life in the long term. And number 6, the biggest and the best, is that being optimistic in itself is one of the elements that can help you recover from chronic fatigue syndrome. So actually being optimistic is very important for your recovery, because if you are in a negative mindset where you constantly saying to yourself, oh, I'm never going to recover, you know, this is it, this is my life now, then that belief is going to perpetuate that. So being optimistic, looking at people who have recovered, looking at recovery stories, seeing that it is possible to recover, and that what you need to do is just make changes in your life, then you can turn that mindset around and be optimistic. And that is a very, very powerful way to beginning your recovery from chronic fatigue syndrome. Watch out for more videos from me. Please subscribe, and I will see you again later. Bye for now.